Carmen, there's been a lot of stories over the last year about the restrictions of free speech on college campuses. Stories like Missouri and Yale, and where they create these safe zones and they decide what can and can't be said. Have you heard anything about that?
A little, but not really.
Really?
I haven't heard a whole lot about it. But I figure, in this day and age, everybody's so offended by everything. You can't please everybody, and everybody's going to get offended no matter what you say.
Right. What do you think about a college or a university creating safe zones, places where only certain speech is allowed? Do you think a college should do that?
I think it's a load of crap. I mean, we're all adults.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't handle somebody saying a few words, how are you going to deal being out in your job or out with other people? I mean, nobody can please everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's a lot of talk in these free speech zones, or safe zones, that the faculty or a student senate or some board members actually decide what words you can and can't say. Does that bother you, especially if it happened here at Casper College or some other place?
Yeah, it does. I mean, that's kind of the point of free speech, is to be able to say what you want. I mean, you're supposed to have, a certain amount of decency and respect for people to begin with. Right. So, that's just my view on it. If you can't have enough decency and respect for people, you shouldn't open your mouth.
Right. So what do you think? Thomas Sowell, he wrote an article about how these safe zones are restricting the free exchange of ideas, which most universities and colleges were founded on. Do you think that if they start restricting speech, that would hinder the free exchange of ideas?
Absolutely. I mean, if people are afraid to speak up and say what's on their mind, it kind of hinders everybody.
Right. So it's okay to have a free exchange of ideas even if people don't agree with you or you agree with their speech, as long as they're civil about it, right?
Of course, you don't have to agree with somebody to respect what they think.
Okay. Jason, I'm out asking students, have you heard about any, nationally, the restrictions of free speech on college campuses? Have you heard anything about that?
It sounds very familiar. I don't know any specific ones.
All right. Yeah, there's a lot of universities that are creating so-called safe zones where you have to reserve time to go there, and you can't say speech that might be considered insensitive to other races or other cultures. Have you noticed that? See, like here on college campus, do you have to be careful what you say? Have you ever noticed
I haven't heard of that, or I haven't gotten that vibe.
Really?
From any place here.
Now, Jason, what do you think about it? Should they create safe zones? Should they restrict speech? Or should it be people should be allowed to talk about whatever they want to talk about?
I believe if they want to create a safe zone, so to speak, then that's their option. It's if you want to go into that safe zone, then that's something that you want personally.
Right.
I mean, if not, then if that's in a designated common area of a campus or of a grounds, then maybe not.
Right.
Then I think that would infringe on
First
freedom of
Amendment.
speech.
First Amendment.
Right.
Yeah, and that's my next question for you. Should a faculty member, board member, or anybody like that be allowed to decide what words you can and can't say while you're on a college campus? Should one, two, or a board of people be allowed to, in a sense, say, okay, you can say this or you can't say that? What say you?
That sounds like a double-edged sword.
Really?
To me, anyway. Yes, I believe that we have freedom of speech, but on the other hand, I believe that there are some things that should be avoided being said.
Okay.
I think it comes down to just being polite or common decency.
Right.
But to be restricted on what we can and cannot say, no, I don't think a board director should be effective.
Okay. Do you have any more thoughts about the First Amendment, freedom of speech on college campuses? Anything that comes to mind?
No, I think it's great that we do have that right to be able to. And so far on Casper College here on campus, I haven't seen anything that opposes that view.
Okay.
So
All right.
I'm grateful for that.
All right. Have you heard about the free speech issues on college and university campuses around the country where they're protesting and they create safe zones?
Not a whole ton.
Not a whole lot. So what are your thoughts? If we have a First Amendment and free speech, should a college faculty or a board or even a student senate restrict speech on college campuses?
Nah, if it's in the Constitution, it's a constitutional right.
Right.
You can't limit those.
Right. A lot of these universities are creating what they call safe zones, where people can go to these zones and they don't have to listen to any offensive speech or speech they think may be offensive. Do you think it's okay for universities and colleges to create a safe zone?
I think it's a way to get individuals to think that they are a victim.
Oh, really?
It's just victimizing people.
Victimizing.
And letting them know that they can be sensitive to absolutely everything in the world, in a world that is absolutely not sensitive.
Right, right.
So I feel like it's just setting students up for failure outside of those safe spaces.
Right, right. So you're probably not in favor of a faculty or a board or anything making a decision on what words you can say or what speech you can say?
No, not in any way, shape, or form.
Okay. Do you have any other thoughts and ideas about freedom of speech on college campuses? No.
No, not really. Just you can't limit somebody's speech. People are going to say what they're going to say, and how you react to it is your decision. And setting up safe spaces for them is kind of setting people up to react to it negatively and not in a constructive way. So it's just setting them up for failure in the regular world.
There was a couple of articles, one by Thomas Sowell, and he talks about how from elementary school through graduate level we've created this environment of safe words, safe this and that, and he says he believes it's restricting the free exchange of ideas, which a lot of our colleges and universities were originally founded on. Whether you agree with someone's view or not, it's called the free exchange of ideas. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, the way that you just explained it, I completely agree. I feel like we should be able to exchange ideas between each other, whether or not we agree with it, and just simply state our opinion, and so that we can all be heard.
Yeah, yeah. You have any more thoughts, bud?
No.
All right.